My name is Kyosaki and welcome to my channel Explorer PU. Today I am going to discuss about chapter 2, Why Teach Financial Literacy, of my book written by Robert T. Kyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. So here in this chapter, Robert and his friend Mike both have become adult and both are running their own successful business. So here Robert tried to make us understand why financial literacy is very important. So he has given some examples, some diagrams through which he is trying to make us understand. So first example he took of 1923, when at that time it was like most of the great leaders were of the director of oil and gas company, or they were handling stock, New York Stock Exchange. But after 25 years, they become bankrupt, and either some are exiled, some prisoned, some got broken. So this is what the reason he says that financial literacy is very important. And secondly, example is of 1929, when stock exchange crash happened. So these are the example where it says that we should be financially literate. So in a sense he wants to say it doesn't matter how much money you make, it matters like how much money you keep. So that is the very good line in this chapter. You should know how to keep money. Apart from this, he was also trying to make us understand about accounting, that you should have a basic knowledge about accounting, whether although it's boring, but you should be knowing. In accounting, apart from accounting, in this chapter he has also explained that the difference between a liability and an asset. He said this is a basic thing everybody should know, what is asset and what is liability. So let me say, asset is like anything which puts money in your pocket is called an asset, and anything which takes out money from your pocket is called liability. So that is what his simple definition. So now I will show his some simple 2 to 3 diagrams which he learned from his rich dad, from Mike's dad. And he has also used those diagrams in his book in second chapter. So I will show those diagrams one by one and will try to explain all those. So this is the diagram. If you can see, this is income statement, this is balance statement. So in income statement, what will come? Income and expenses. In balance sheet, what will come? Asset and liabilities. So if you want to know the difference between a rich and a poor, rich always tries to increase his asset. His asset will increase and it will go into income. And poor, this is a diagram of a poor. If you can see, poor person. So he tries to increase his liability, and liability increases expenses. So that is the diagram of a rich and poor. Now we will see in detail these diagrams one by one. So this diagram this is the cash flow pattern for a poor person. Poor person, you can see, he will be doing a job, he will be dependent on his salary, he will be having some expenses like rent, tax, food, transportation, clothes. And that is the lifestyle of a poor person: job, income and expense. Now this is the cash flow for a middle class family. Middle class family, what they do, they also do a job, they have a salary, they have expenses, same tax payment, car payment, credit card payment, school loan payment, and some additional liabilities like school loans, car loans, credit card, debit card, mortgage. So this is the diagram for a for a cash flow diagram for a poor person and a middle class. Now let's see what the rich person does, which don't do poor and middle class person. So this is the cash flow for a wealthy person. You can see his income depends on rental income. Rental, you can say, like if he is having any property, he will give it on rent. That rental income, dividend, interest, royalties, some royalties he has bought, royalties in some mutual fund he has bought, some stocks he has bought, or some like anything that added his asset, that is what he invested in. Expenses, he has only very less expenses, you can see taxes or mortgage payment. Now come to the asset that he has. Asset means like which indirectly growing his income. Asset like real estate, stocks, bonds, notes, intellectual property, these are his assets which indirectly is increasing his income. Liabilities also he has very less, like customer loans, credit card and mortgage. So that is what the cash flow of a wealthy person. So that is what he tried to understand, like what a rich person does, which a middle class or a poor person don't do. Apart from this, one more thing I want to explain, that Robert has told us in this chapter, that mostly people invest in buying houses and they think it is his asset. But he has explained in this book that it is not an asset, it is a liability. Why it is a liability? Because once you buy a house, you take a loan, you you give different type of taxes, like property tax you give. So ultimately it is taking out a cash from your pocket, and apart from this, the value of that property, the value of that house which you have bought, it will go on decrease as the time passes. So he says it is not intelligent idea if you are taking your house as an asset, you should take it as liability. He says ki if you should buy a house, but in that case only if you know you have a large difference between your asset and the liability, you have a large number of assets and a less number of liabilities. If you have a large gap, then at that time if you are buying a house, that's well and good. But you shouldn't be buying a house if you have a less asset or you have an equal number of assets and liabilities. So you should understand the difference between that when to buy a house. Like if once your assets are good, then at that time you can think about it. And also like he says like why people are financially literate, like once they get married, they buy a house, they do a loan, they take a loan, home loan, personal loan, school loan, kinds of loan they take. They give different type of taxes, income tax, property tax, and also other taxes. So that is what, and they don't understand financial literacy. So that is what he says ki before before buying or before doing anything, you should be financially literate. At least you should know the difference, what is asset and what is liability. Once you are good in that, you will be successful. And also what he says, that you should be knowing that how to increase your wealth. Like you should be investing in stocks, you should be investing in mutual funds, and you shouldn't be doing it with the help of a person who's doing mutual. You should do it by themselves, then only it is beneficial for you. So in a sense, he has just given emphasis on accounting, he has just given emphasis on asset, liabilities, or the things which increase assets. He says if you want to grow rich, you should concentrate on income producing asset and you should keep low your liabilities. And he also explained one quote by R. Buckminster, that he says that let me explain that. He says that wealth is a person's ability to survive so many number of days forward, or if I stopped working today, how long could I survive? So he says, well, like if you stopped working today, then without working, how many days you can survive? That thing explains how much wealthy you are. So I think that's it for today, and tomorrow I will explain the chapter 3 in this Rich Dad Poor Dad. Thank you so much, and keep subscribing my channel. Thank you.